Or with the door for one translation or Uddhana, very great. Bhava, expression. Pishuna, exciting. Amala, spotless. Bhagavata, beautiful smiling. Rida, corner of the eye. Baloka, looking. Nihata, conquered. Madanaha, Cupid. Or Amadana, the greatly tolerant Shiva. Happy also. Yasham, whose Samya being overpowered by Chakam, both Ajahat, give up, Ramadan, woman, Umadin, Utamaha, of high grade, Ka, or Yasha, whose Indriyam, senses, Vimatitum, Tupatar, Uhake, by magical feats, Na, never. Seku was able. Translation and proposed by Divine Grace. It's compound Maharaja, very Satavida, Papa, although the queen's beautiful eyes and beauty glances were all spotless and exciting, and although they could conquer Cupid himself by making him give up his bow in frustration, and although even the tournament Shiva would fall victim to them, still, despite all their magical feats and attractions, they could not agitate the senses of the Lord. This responsibility. Although the queen beautiful smiles and furtive glances were all spotless and exciting, and although they could conquer Cupid himself by making him give up his bow in frustration, and although even the tolerant Lord Shiva could fall victim to them, still, despite all the magical feats and attractions, they could not agitate the senses of the Lord. Purport. The path of salvation or the path of going back to Godhead always forbids the association of women. And the complete Sanatana Dharma or Varnashram Dharma scheme forbids or restricts association with women. How then can one be accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is addicted to more than 16,000 wives? This question may be relevantly raised by inquisitive persons really anxious to know about the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. And to answer such questions, the sages at Nami Saraya, have discussed the transcendental character of the Lord in these and in the following verses. It is clear herein that the feminine attractive features, which can conquer Cupid or even the supermost tolerant of Shiva, will not conquer the senses of the Lord. Cupid's business is to invoke mundane laws. The whole universe is moving, being agitated by Cupid's arrow. The activities of the world are being carried on by the central attraction of male and female. A male is searching after a mate to his liking, and the female is looking after a suitable male. That is the way of material stimulus. And as soon as a male is combined with a female, the material bondage of the living being is at once tightly interlocked by sex relation. And as a result of this, both the males and females' attraction to sweet home, motherland, bodily offspring, society, and friendship, and accumulation of wealth becomes the illusory field of activity, and thus a false but indefatigable attraction for the temporary material existence, which is full of miseries, manifest. Those who are therefore on the path of salvation, going back home, back to God, are especially advised by all spiritual instruction to become free from such paraphernalia of material attraction. And that is possible only by the association of devotees of the Lord, who are called the Mahatma. Cupid throws his arrow upon the living beings to make them mad after the opposite sex. Whether the party is actually beautiful or not, Cupid's provocations are going on, even among beastly societies who are all ugly looking in the estimation of the civilized nation. Thus, Cupid's influence is exerted even among the ugliest forms, what to speak of the most perfect beauties. Lord Shiva, who is considered to be the most tolerant, was also struck by Cupid's arrow because he also became mad after the Mohini incarnation of the God and acknowledged himself to be defeated. Cupid, however, was himself captivated by the grave and exciting dealings of the goddess of fortune and voluntarily gave up his bow and arrow in a spirit of prostration. Such was the beauty and attraction of the queens of Lord Krishna. Yet they could not disturb the transcendental senses of the Lord. This is because the Lord is all perfect, Atmarana, self-sufficient. He does not require anyone's extraneous help for his personal satisfaction. Therefore, the kings could not satisfy the Lord by their feminine attractiveness, but they satisfied him by their sincere affection and service. Only by unalloyed transcendental love and service could they satisfy the Lord, and the Lord pleased to treat them as wives in reciprocation. Thus, being satisfied by their unalloyed service only, the Lord reciprocated the service just like a divorced husband. Otherwise, he has no business becoming the husband of many wives. He is the husband of everyone. But the one who accepts him as such, he reciprocates. This unalloyed affection of the Lord is never to be compared to mundane thoughts. It is purely transcendental, and the great dealings which the queens displayed in natural feminine ways are also transcendental because the feelings were expressed out of transcendental ecstasy. It is already explained in the previous verse that the Lord appeared like a mundane husband, but factually his relation with his wives was transcendental, pure and unconditioned by the modes of material nature. Om Gina, Smirandisya, Gina Jana, Sat Shri Om Vitam, Smart, See, Vijayanam, Namo Vitam, Sapitam Yenaputa Swayam Rupa Kadamayan Sadati Swa Kadam Panchakalpatari Vita Vipasani Pandit Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodiki Sadhuvaya Kotavantu Chief Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Prabhupada Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Nam Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvises Sanghavati. So thank you very much everyone for coming to participate in this morning Bhagavatam class. Today is Monday where everyone beginning of the working week and everyone is rushing out to the business, rushing out to their workplace. Those who are schooling, they are rushing out. So that you find the time to uh, come to participate in the program, come to participate in the class. So that is exceptionally uh, outstanding. Thank you. Now, in this very text describing the beauty of Lord Krishna's speech, beauty of Lord Krishna's speech. So if Lord Krishna is unattractive, someone is selected to be his companion, to be his wife. Not be very attractive also, isn't it? So, when we have been told here in this text, the inexplicable beauty of Krishna's queens. And if we have traditionally, when people have a very beautiful spouse, a very beautiful wife, they're very attached. Or you have a very handsome husband, but you're not going to eat handsomeness. Our husband is handsome is fine, but how much money does he have? What are his skills? Huh? The Krishna has all of these stuff. He has the beauty. He has also 6 prominent opulence. So when someone has any of the opulences of Lord Krishna, naturally it becomes attractive. Someone is very knowledgeable, the PhD scholars, the professors. Naturally, they're very attractive. People want to associate with, oh, that's a professor is my friend. Isn't it? Yeah. Although they try to isolate themselves, insulate themselves. That's what the big guys do. But in case of Lord Krishna, Krishna does not insulate himself from the crowd. It's just that one who wants to associate with him has to acquire some merit. Yes, acquire some merit. You have to have service attitude, service orientation. Your beauty is not enough. So Papa mentioned the purpose here. Krishna was not attracted to any of the queens because of their beauty. what really make him to be available for the queens was just service. So, sincere affection and service. Then, they satisfy him by their, this is so, this is so significant that Papa, he put it in italics. They satisfy him by their sincere affection and service. Affection, sincere affection and service. So when it says sincere affection, does it mean there is an affection that is not based on sincerity of purpose? Yes. There are what we call a modern day, have you heard of this term? Uh, gold digger. Huh? Yeah, gold digger. You know gold? Yeah. Gold digger. You know what gold digger means? Yes, tell us. What is it? Huh? Can I get on the microphone? Because other people cannot be there. Microphone is here. Gold diggers. Yeah. So the gold diggers may seem to be attracted to you, but it's all about your money, about your resources. So that is not sincere affection. So here it is mentioned that Krishna's queen, they were attracted to Krishna. They were able to satisfy Krishna by dint of their sincerity of purpose and their service attitude. Two things. We have to be sincere. In fact, for those who are sincere, Krishna in their heart cleanses the iniquities that are that it's mentioned also in the Bhagavatam that the Lord helps to cleanse the dirty things and the mirror of the heart of the sincere devotee. So it's so important. Sincerity is so important. And this is not only in devotional service. If we fake sincerity in any type of relationship, and the person perceives it, and they will lose faith in us. So, yes, the devoted wives of Lord Krishna, uh, the quality that endear them to Krishna is their sincerity of purpose and service. Krishna was not looking at their beauty. So this means a lot to us. Good example, good setting, establishing conditions, some motivation, and to get some good results, or want to get some. It has to be paid for. And therefore, it is important for any relationship to be sustained. It is important that the service attitude is there and the genuine affection is sustained. These two elements. And this is what Krishna voluntarily reciprocates for. Krishna will not reciprocate for anything else in his relationship with his wife. What Krishna voluntarily reciprocates for is two things, or the two things: affectionate service, or affection, sincere affection, and loving service. See, the psychology of service is such a good thing for people to understand, because when someone, I remember when we just joined as a brahmachari, Bhakti Vasudeva Swami, a grandmother, he studied psychology. So he used to tell us that accepting service from someone means you are being promoted. Whether you like it or not, you're accepting service from someone, you're bonding with the person. It's not a question of I don't like it. You receive service, no, you're bonding. So if you want to establish a sustainable relationship without service, it won't work. And if you sacrifice your convenience to serve someone, especially when they are in need or when they are distressed, you are burdened over for a whole life. I remember when I was young and still serving in Africa, so there was this devotee, it's a dentist. I mean, this eye doctor, the one that fixes glasses. What do they call it? Optician. So the city where I was living, where the temple where I was staying, was like 4 to 5 hours drive. Then I heard that he had a terrible accident. His car was not, was slightly saved from death. The car was badly smashed. So when I heard that, so I went there. I traveled there. The wife was not a devotee as such, but she followed everything. But not a devotee means that she was not chanting. But she follows everything, the Ekadashi, everything. And it's more. So I went there to see this devotee at the hospital. And I left back. But that was the beginning of like a lasting relationship, because the wife, she developed so much trust for me. And because of the fact that I left where I was staying 4 or 5 hours drive away to come to see the husband, she became so much motivated to engage in devotional service. And I remember one time the husband told me, "My wife loves you so much." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because you came to see me in the hospital all the way from the city where you were staying when I had the accident." So sometimes she would ask the husband, have you spoken to Vasudeva recently? That guy loves you. He came all the way to come and see you in the hospital when you had an accident. Call him out. So sometimes when I go to their city, like when I'm going to a conference, I pass through their city, and maybe her friend will tell her that, oh, Vasudeva came, and so she will chastise the husband. Why you don't bring him home? So the point is service. I sacrifice just a little time and when to see the husband when he was involved in an accident. In fact, if you want to win actions of rendering a little service to somebody when they are in need. I was telling the story of my professor friend when he was completely desperate and frustrated with life. Although although he was having all the degrees that incident couldn't be a problem to him, but when you're in problem, you forget about what you have to deal with the problem. So service, when we serve people when they are in need, when they are helpless, when they are in trouble, when we're not some service to them, we have created an eternal bond. They can't forget you. So Krishna don't play with his wives. Why? Because of that service attitude, loving service. See, when you have, and I've seen situations also where people, they serve their families nicely, they serve their spouses nicely. And you see that the loving relationship is very, very intense. I've seen in America how, in some cases, a man comes back from work. If even the woman is not, if even the wife is not working, she's a housewife. A man comes back from work and she goes to the kitchen to help the wife, to do what done. And that type of service, helping someone, they do without your service. But just showing an interest to serve, to help the person out of sincerity, it consolidates the bond in the relation. And so, the sincerity with which the queens of Dwarka were rendering service to Lord Krishna is unimaginable. And Krishna was very reciprocating of that love and service. Krishna is a big, good reciprocator. And that's why he said in Bhagavad Gita that when we surrender down to him, he take care of our business. Reciprocation. And so, yes, beauty is amazing, a wonderful quality. Hey, that's good. When we understand, I mean, the whole culture of devotional service is about service, and we can't do with everybody is rendering from some service. It's not just the queens of Dwarka rendering service to Krishna. Everyone in this material world is rendering service. Even the prime minister, the chief minister, the president of the country is rendering service to the citizens, to the country. We are by nature servants. And that is where the problem comes when we tend to deny ourselves of that value of service. I remember one time one guru came to the temple where I was serving, and it doesn't stay in that country. So one of the disciples during the class, the lecture, one of the disciples, female devotee, asked, Guru Maharaj, What's the best way to serve you? What's the best way to serve you? How can I serve you satisfactorily? So he looked at her and said, "You have a temple president here?" She said, "Yes." He said, "Go meet temple president, ask for some service, and you say, if he is satisfied with your service, you should know that I am satisfied with you." Yeah? Because the services we render in the temple, it is just ordinary cleaning. Whatever service you render to the deities is satisfactory to the spiritual master. And if we can just make more input in our services, the more we make input in our service in terms of quantity and quality, the more we become purified. Because even the chanting of the holy name, we are asking for service. Huh? Isn't it? We are asking for service. Lord Krishna, engage me in your service. Then we should ask ourselves, what is my service? What service did I perform today? If we want Krishna to look out to us, if we want Krishna to cast his silent glances on us, we should render service. Render service is very simple. And although it's so simple, and that is the way to attract Lord Krishna. Just like the queens of Dwarka, they attract Lord Krishna not by their beauty. They were exceptionally beautiful, but not by their beauty, by dint of their service attitude, loving service. It's different ways to serve. We may serve in the mode of ignorance, in the mode of passion, in the mode of goodness. What is required is to love, to serve Krishna, with love and affection. That constitutes devotional service. Devotional service is all about serving, and not just serving whimsically or serving haphazardly, serving with affection. Serving with affection means we're doing something and we are reflecting on what we are doing, to whom we are doing it, who is receiving this service ultimately. So, we have to cultivate service attitude. In initial stage, we need to be engaged. But when we become advanced, we look for service to do. We look for service to perform without even being told. I remember when I just joined, I newly in the temple. So one day, I think I was doing something, and considering that I was new. So the president came to me and asked, and called me and said, "Who asked you to do this?" I said, "Nobody asked me. I just decided to do it." So he was shocked because I was just new. I've not even shaved my head. I was just new. So voluntarily rendering service is so important, and that helps us to grow, and that attracts. We want to attract Lord Krishna. Render service with not with grudge, with love and affection. We should know who is the receiver of this service. Who is receiving this service? And sometimes people think they're doing some service, and then they're thinking, that they are doing the service to some devotee. I mean, it's like if you are cooking, it's so easy to think that who are these devotees that I have to cook for them? Who are they? Huh? In some temples, you have to cook for there is section cooking for the deities and cooking for the devotees. So it's so easy to think, to hell with this guy. Who are they? But even service to the devotees is more important to Lord Krishna than service to Lord Krishna himself. That's what he told Arjuna in the Padma Purana. The service that we render in devotional culture have to burn the binding that we have on material nature. We are tied like ropes. Guna. Material nature has tied us up. So when we render service, it's like providing a scissors, cutting off those ropes, you know. uh, the Lord reciprocates the service just like a devout husband. A husband who is devoted reciprocates with the service from any member of the family. The children render service, oh, that enthuses him, enthuses the father like anything. The wife renders some service, oh, it enthuses the husband like anything. And in the same way, the husband renders some service. The wife and the children, they are very much enthused. They are excited. So if this is going on, so Papa give this very gross example for us to understand the value of service in our relationship to Krishna. Relationship with Krishna. Service, 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 loving service, affectionate service. So I remember when I wrote uh, when I was doing my masters, I wrote some essays, really big essays, like a thesis on service. And so even the non-academic staff, people who were working not as teachers or not as the professors, they came to me to tell me, what you said is so true. You know, I was giving an example of how even the president of the country is serving. Although they think that they are the ones controlling, but they are serving everybody. Husband works so hard to go get money, to come and serve the whole family, to take care of the whole family. So our whole life is based on service. And just stop to do service and create, you will see the result. Catastrophe. And therefore, it is important that no matter what, no matter the values that we have, no matter the resources that we have, there is nothing more important than using the resources we have at our disposal in serving the devotees of the Lord, in serving the Lord. This will invoke affection from the Lord. Bhaktisiddhanta used to say that we should work so hard, we should serve so dedicatedly that Krishna comes looking for us, that Krishna reveals himself to us. We should not demand to see Krishna. We should serve so dedicatedly, so devotedly that Krishna reveals himself. Devoted service, dedicated service. So this unalloyed affection For the Lord is never to be compared with mundane law, prophet says. It is purely transcendental. So the Lord Krishna had all of these queens in Dwarka, and it's so easy for someone to misinterpret that relationship because he also had children. But what does transcendental here mean? It just shows how to have a child in a material world. Husband and wife will have sex. Krishna glances on his wife and the wife becomes impregnated. Just like he glances on material nature becomes impregnated with living entity. And Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma mentions that the limbs of the Lord, the sensory modalities of the Lord are interchangeable. He eats with his eyes. We eat with our mouth. If you just look at the prasadam, you will not be satisfied. Is it? Yeah. Krishna glances over the bhoga, it becomes prasadam. So, the science of Krishna consciousness is very deep. And whatever situation we find, Krishna is all about reciprocating with his devotees who are affectionately and devotedly serving. Love means unconditional service. Service that is not based on expectations. What am I going to get from here? So it's a pretty deep science, and this service attitude must reign supreme in our dealings with the Lord. And that is how to bond. That is to facilitate the bonding with the Lord. Service facilitates the bonding with the Lord. Just like when we render service to anybody, we create a bonding in a relation. So when we render service, we render different type of services. Some people are using their intelligence in serving Krishna. Some people are using their resources, material resources. Yes, you should go and try it. So all of us, we have a mission. A mission is to serve Lord Krishna, to serve the spiritual master, to serve the devotees. But the commission is different. The mission is the same for all devotees, service to the Lord. The commission of the devotees is different. And so it is important for us to understand that what someone else is doing in their service may not necessarily mean that we'll be able to do it. We should do what we can do. We should look for the soft spots in our life and concentrate on that to be able to have high productivity, high performance, high results. In the old days, everybody is supposed to do a particular thing. But as we are growing, as the society is growing, we have been expanding, and now we have in different settings. And all of these settings are to help to facilitate consolidated and sustainable devotional service to the Lord. It's already explained how the Lord appeared like a mundane husband, but actually his relation with his wife was transcendental, pure, and unconditioned by the most of material nature. Mundane relationship is conditioned by moral passion. Husband and wife relationship is based on moral passion. And these days, women have become so desperate. Men too. In America, I don't know whether some of you know this, but these beautiful girls, they make it sometimes you find them in some of the public places. They have like a trawler with some packages on it. And then the beautiful girl comes to you and says, would you like to go with me tonight? Or you want to choose something, a gift? Because relationship is becoming a big challenge. Okay, if you sit down in your house and wait for some husband to go, it might be a challenge. But so this is what's going on. As Kali Yoga is progressing, things are becoming more and more. It's not that things are going to become better in the future. If someone tells you things are going to become better, perhaps they are not being practical. Yeah, so and then some of the guys they say no, I'm already married, Yeah. This is not Purana, it's happening right now. It's happening. And so someone chooses a gift and they open a package and some of the packages is just the girl's phone number. Oh, you got my phone number. Okay. You feel free to contact me. But, you don't blame them. You're just being practical. You're just being practical. You want someone to bond with, someone to serve, someone to be able to create some affectionate, loving dealings. There is this other word again. Okay, like some of these girls who go about with the trolleys and they're professionals who go about with these trolleys and then trying to hook up. And then some of the things they say is like, would you like to wife me? Oh yeah. You know what I mean? So we can't do without relations. We are human beings. We're social animals. We need relations. So if we don't establish that strong ties with the Lord, and even for the women, if you see proper mention in the purport here that everyone is actually Krishna's wife. So if you don't have, if luck runs out of you and you don't have a wife, see yourself as, Krishna's wife. Oh yeah. Everyone is Krishna's wife. Ultimately, everyone. This issue was there. What's the name of this Indian musician during the time of Rupa Goswami? Yeah, Mira. He had the story of Mira. Yeah. So Mira was in Vrindavan, and then in those days, the Swamis were very, very strict. They don't give, they don't associate with women and all that stuff. So Mira wanted to have a darshan of Rupa Goswami. So she sent a message to Rupa, and Rupa replied that I'm a Swami, I don't give darshan to women. That was in Vrindavan. And then Amina responded, "Ah, I thought that Krishna is the only Purusha, that we are all Prakriti. So how is it that you are assuming the position of the Purusha?" If you say that to some people now, they will say, "Yeah, why are you challenging me?" The Rupa Goswami, Mira, Moses across to Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami did not defend himself. What did he say? He said, "Yes, you're right." Yeah, so everyone is actually Krishna's wife because Krishna is the only Purusha and we are Prakriti. So what Papa said in the purpose, that is what it implies. There's the Prakriti and there's the Purusha. Purusha is the enjoyer, Prakriti is the enjoyer. So a devotee must see themselves as Prakriti. Whether we are husband, wife, whatever, ultimately everyone is Prakriti. So beauty is amazing. We can use that beauty to lure people to devotional service. So sometimes, people they get attracted to devotion. I've seen this outside of India. I've seen this where in temples where we have brahmacharis living in the temple, they go on harina, and sometimes they go back to the temple, and so many people follow them to go to the temple. They're attracted to the beautiful girl, beautiful lady. They're dancing and all these things, and they become attracted. So even the beauty could be used in devotional service. You have high profile skills that could be used in devotional service. Papa would use the word dovetail because the beauty alone by itself could be destructive. How? Because people get attracted to that person even based on exploitation. But if the beauty is dovetailed in Krishna consciousness, it could create a positive spiritual change for people. So just like the queens of Lord Krishna, queens of Dwaka, were exceptionally beautiful, and they used their beauty in serving Lord Krishna. Krishna became reciprocal. So whatever qualities we have, whatever resources we have, if we use them in Krishna's service, we get amazing results. Krishna becomes pleased, we become purified. Any comments or questions? Yes. By practice. Huh? Yeah, by practice. You understand. First of all, is when we have like what do you call awareness campaign. Awareness campaign. If there's a disease, the health department they make awareness campaign. So first of all, you have to understand the need to perform to be unconditional in the service, and that is pretty possible when you understand that when you serve someone unconditionally, you have high reciprocation from Krishna, not even from the person. And so when you serve somebody and you're expecting them maybe to become your servant, or you have somebody and you're expecting them to become your disciple, that is conditional service. But if you just go out your way to help people without expecting anything from them, Krishna reciprocates with you. So the services we render, I mean, I've had people say this, oh, I help him like this, I help her like this, and look, doesn't care about me. That is conditional service. You get frustration from those type of services. But if you really just render service to anybody, you help anybody without any expectation, Krishna reciprocates. He might not have served Krishna directly, but that is unconditional service. So Krishna reciprocates. So if we have this consciousness, this unconditional consciousness, then we will be able to practice serving without expectation, meaning unconditional. And that will be extended to Krishna in our service to Krishna. First, it has to do with our relationship with other people. Then we can easily extend that to Krishna. So next time we have siblings, if you are helping them, don't think that, because I help you, you should be respectful towards me. That is conditional service. Another service. If people don't respect you, somebody else will respect you. Important thing is to render the service without expectation. And it's so difficult to do this. I've seen, cases where people help somebody and, they are expecting, maybe you become my servant, you become my disciple, you become my this, or you become my that. So the Krishna factor is not there. We render, Mama Evam so Jesus look at Jesus. Everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. You serve somebody, you are serving Krishna because that person is part and parcel of Krishna. You serve your sisters, you are serving indirectly. You are serving Krishna because they are part and parcel of Krishna. If you treat them badly, you get some reaction because you are treating Krishna badly. And this is the principle to sustain lasting loving relationship. Lasting loving relationship is that you see the person, your partner, or the person you are connected with as part and parcel of Krishna, and whatever services you are rendering to that person, you are thinking that I'm rendering this service because this person is part and parcel of Krishna. It becomes it establishes a friendly tie, a loving tie. But we will look at that person as an individual by themselves. It's difficult. We'll do this service and we expect it. How much are you going to pay me? Yeah. Becomes the business. That we are bound to serve. If we don't serve Krishna, we don't serve the devotees, we'll serve somebody else. We'll serve our senses. So we have to choose what we want to do. But essentially, serving with devotion requires that we understand the person's pristine identity, their values, what's the relationship with Krishna. If we have that conception, we can render service to non-devotees and devotees alike. But you render service to non-devotee, if you give money to a non-devotee, when they use the money for simple activities, that's a problem because you will be unaccomplished. You have aided and abetted the sin. So we have to be again selective in what type of service we render to people who are not devotees. So, I mean, the whole thing is such that the life, when it comes to service, people, we have service attitude. We want to render service. We want to give money. We want to help beggars. We want to do this. We have to choose what to do so that we don't get entangled. But for the people who are devotees, it's so easy to serve them because they will not abuse the service. Any comments or questions? Yes. Huh? We have lots of services. Okay. And so we should improve. We should improve to love and serve. That is how to capture Krishna. We can, okay, I'll give you an example. Our chanting. The chanting should be done with love and devotion. When chanting, we should be reflecting on the meaning of the mantra. We are asking for service of Lord Krishna. That will help you to stabilize the mind on concentrating on the holiness. Now, if you forget even the meaning of what you are doing, it's so easy for the mind to wander off. To increase loving devotion, we have to be reflective. We have to understand the meaning of what we are doing, and we reflect on that. So yes, service could be done, but if we do the service as a duty, it will take a long time for us to become purified. Purification will not be expedited. I mean, it's like we can chant as a duty. I've finished my run. Hey, this, go, finish. We're chanting, we want to finish our run. It becomes like a service. I mean, a duty. It's my duty to finish my round. But if we do it in the mode of love and service, I mean, it's like you may give a banana service to somebody, but if you do it as a duty, you don't get the full benefit. You do it with affection, then you get the reciprocation from Lord Krishna. That is how the queens of Dwarka capture Krishna. Affection and service. You know what? Loving service. You may, you see, for you to win someone over, you may do a little thing that they feel that love with which you did that. They touch with that emotion, and it deepens the relation. That's exactly what the queens of Dwarka, the Dwarka Vasis, that's how the queens of Lord Krishna attract Lord Krishna. You want to attract the Lord, loving devotion has to be there. Affection has to be there. It's so easy, anyone can perform service like a duty. Duty means you don't really love the stuff you're doing. Like you go to work, it's not that you love work. You're going to work because you get salary at the end of the month to take care of yourself. Who cares about work? But work and devotion is different. The work will be converted to devotion if we are reflective, if we repose affection in the object of that work, in the object of that service. Yes. Does it make sense? Any other question? Mataji, any comments? Yes, any comments of this? Huh? Why coming back from Manila? Please come back. You're making a proposal before even I leave. She is very smart, you know. Why are you so smart? You're thinking I will go to some other place? I'm your property, don't worry, okay? Any other comment? This is practical talk. No, it's not abstract, okay? Nothing abstract here. You're talking about how to win someone's heart. You may do anything to anybody, but is there love? Is there affection in what you're doing? Or you want to do it? Two things. You want to do it, you do it as a duty, or you do it with love and affection. Anyone can perform duty. So our relationship with Krishna is rejuvenated through loving affection in our devotion. Srila Prabhupada, Srimad Bhagavatam, this will get lost one day. You know, one guy from the guru from Udupi, he came to Mayapur, which is 50